Heavily armored, packing massive firepower, and able to traverse even the roughest terrain at high speed. Today's frontline battle tanks are the most fearsome of weapons. In modern land warfare, tanks lead the charge. Among today's armies, the main battle tanks of 4 countries stand at the forefront of technology and design. The British Challenger 2, the American M1 Abrams, the French Leclerc, and German Leopard 2. Each is a marvel of military design, combining its own unique weaponry, exotic armor, and sophisticated command and control systems. They've never faced each other in combat. If they did, it would surely be a formidable fight. From Britain, the Challenger 2, a highly reliable and extremely capable heavy tank. The Challenger 2 is the latest main battle tank produced by the pioneers of tank design. The British Army first introduced tanks to the battlefield in 1916 and have played an important role in their development ever since. The Challenger traces its heritage back to Britain's Chieftain tank. When the Chieftain entered service in 1966, it was the most heavily armored of all main battle tanks. With an emphasis on armored protection, the Chieftain's turret was carefully contoured to optimize the thick steel of its armor. The Chieftain balanced its superb protection with a powerful 120mm gun, much larger than the 105mm guns common to most tanks of the 1960s and 70s. But thick steel armor makes tanks heavy and slow, and the Chieftain was guilty on both counts. Britain needed a faster, more sophisticated tank. During the 1970s, under the codename Burlington, British designers developed a radical new type of tank armor. This complex composite armor became known as Chobham armor, named after the city in which it was developed. How it works and what exactly it's made from remain top secret, but it is highly effective. Most experts believe the armor consists of complex layers of metal and advanced ceramics. When the Challenger 1 appeared in the 1980s, it was the first British tank to incorporate this highly effective protection. Chobham armor made the Challenger nearly invulnerable to frontal attack from deadly high-explosive anti-tank or heat rounds. Besides its enhanced protection, the Challenger was more mobile than the Chieftain. A 1,200 horsepower diesel engine and advanced suspension system gave the tank a top speed of 35 miles per hour and a smooth ride despite obstructions and rough terrain. One of the most important advances in tank design in the 1980s was in gunfire controls, which permitted the tank to fire on the move. The heavily armored turret of the Challenger weighs 20 tons, yet it must be moved with extreme precision to hit targets a mile or more away. In 1994, the Challenger 2 entered service in the British Army. The Challenger 2 has over 150 improvements to its predecessor, the Challenger 1, and many entirely new features, such as its turret design. The Challenger 2 has even more sophisticated fire controls than its forerunner. A digital fire control computer controls the commander's sight, the laser rangefinder, and thermal imaging system for unprecedented accuracy. The Challenger 2's stabilized 120mm gun can fire a wide variety of munitions. Britain has a long history of supplying tanks to foreign armies. But many armies in the developing world cannot afford highly complex and expensive tanks. Besides producing the Challenger for the British Army, Elvis Vickers also designed less sophisticated tanks specifically for export. The Vickers Mark VII is an example of British-German industrial cooperation with a Vickers-designed turret and a German Leopard 2 hull. Britain's strong traditions in tank design have led to critical technological breakthroughs, like Chobham armor and the formidable Challenger 2, one of only a handful of modern tanks that can truly dominate a battlefield. Across the hot, dusty prairies of Texas, the U.S. Army wages mock combat in one of the world's most formidable tanks, the M1 Abrams, named after the legendary General Creighton Abrams. General Abrams is known for his hard-charging leadership of the 37th Tank Battalion during World War II. Today, American tanks are much more powerful, better protected, and much faster than the Sherman tanks that Abrams commanded. The Sherman was armed with a rifled 75mm gun with just one-third the force of the 120mm smoothbore gun found on the M1 Abrams. The Abrams' advanced composite armor provides 12 times greater protection than the Sherman's mere 2 inches of steel armor plating. At 25 miles per hour on roads, the Sherman was fast for its day. But the Abrams can travel nearly twice as fast, even in rough terrain. A 1,500 horsepower gas turbine engine, similar to those used by attack helicopters, provides the muscle.
The increased speed causes you to be able to do a lot more things than you normally could with the slower M60 series. And plus it opens up some terrain to you that you can use as high-speed avenues of approach, which you didn't have before.
Development of the Abrams began in the early 1970s to replace the M60 Patton. Newly developed guided anti-tank missiles made protection a major priority in the Abrams design. Advanced composite armor, similar to Britain's Chobham armor, was used to counter the missile threat and gives the Abrams its distinct slab-sided appearance.